Hey everybody, Rose Matter here. Welcome to my reaction and discussion for episode 14 of Delicious in Dungeon. First of all, I apologize for the mix-up from a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realize that I had forgot to schedule episode 12 to release, so it was out a week late. It got posted after episode 13, so it was a little confusing for you guys. I really apologize. All the episodes are uploaded now, so I do have episode 12 and 13, so make sure you watch those first before you watch this episode. Totally my fault. Yeah, sorry for those of you who were confused when I released episode 13 and you guys were like, wait, what happened to episode 12? They're all up now, so yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, moving on to what happened in the last episode. Unfortunately, as soon as we got Fallon, she's gone again. It turns out that I guess with her being resurrected from the dragon, parts of the dragon. I don't quite know what happened there. Maybe it's because she was in the dragon when she got resurrected. She combined with the dragon in some way, and the dark elf from like way, way back when Laos was in the paintings has appeared. So I was happy that I remembered. I was like, oh, I recognize them from somewhere. So it turns out that he is the magician who is kind of like ruling over the dungeon, and he referred to Fallon as the dragon. And Fallon has basically been kind of controlled by the magician and is now sent off to find the king. I'm guessing it was that king that was in the paintings. So Fallon is basically in control, under control of the magician, and now she's off and we've lost her again. So now the quest continues. We have to find her and save her again, except this is bad because now she's under the control of this magician and it's going to be a lot more complicated. With all that happening, the magician sent Laos, Marcel, and Chilchuk and Senshi down into the inner depths of the dungeon. They met up with the sister of the orc leader that they met earlier. So she's helping them out. Chilchuk is saying that they need to cut their losses and go to the surface because they will not be able to save Fallon in the state that they're in. And there was a whole thing where he was acting like they were all fools and they were idiots and they're not thinking rationally. And the orc girl was saying, you need to be true with your feelings. It's because you care about them and you don't want to see them die. And so Chilchuk had like a very humanizing, very sweet moment where he had to admit to himself that, you know, he cares about the group more than he lets on. And he did manage to convince Laos that if they want to save Fallon, they need to leave the dungeon. They're just not in a good state right now. My guess is that maybe they're going to gather people that they have met along the way. Namara, maybe. Namari? I always get her name. Namara, they're old teammates. And I'm sure some other people, the orcs, I think have agreed to help out as well. I believe she did say, like, when you decide you want to continue on, we'll be there to help out. So I think that's what this is going to be, is they're going to gather together a group because they are not going to be able to take on the magician themselves. They're going to need some outside help. So that's my guess, maybe, is like this episode is them going to be getting up to the surface, regrouping, getting supplies, getting people together, and going back down and trying to save Fallon. It was dark. It was certainly dark. Not a whole lot of cooking in the last episode. It's no longer just the cute cooking show. It's gotten into something quite a bit darker. So anyway, let's continue on. Let's watch episode 14. And real quick, also episode 14, I believe there is a new opening. So I'm going to go ahead and watch that and react to it, and then we'll get into the actual episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. Interesting opening. Much more comedic already, and much more comedic. The muted colors are quite nice. I like that, actually. And they're focusing more on the cooking aspect and showing each character It is much more lighthearted, which is kind of funny considering that the show has gotten much darker at this point. It's like the creators like we need a little bit of levity after all the stuff that you just witnessed. Oh, and they're showing the different monsters. Interesting with that big lady. Is that someone we're going to encounter at some point? And then we're showing all the characters. I gotta say, one thing that's really cool about the creators is they really managed to make like and there's a lot of anime where the characters all just kind of have same face syndrome. They just have different like hairstyles and stuff. Each of these characters look so different from each other, different races and things like that. So I think that's really cool. And also, I love that they're showcasing more of the comedic, the sweet side to the characters and showing their like their friendship. Whereas the first OST or the first opening was more on like let's introduce the world and the characters. um I will say I do like the first song a lot better. It had that kind of Celtic, very medieval kind of sound to it. I preferred that. This one was a little bit more goofy, but I do really like that opening. It was much more lighthearted. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch the actual episode now. Oh yeah, I forgot about Marcel just being completely knocked out still while these guys are all sharing a moment. That was very sweet at when oh, oh wait, what? Okay, these people again. Oh, and there's yeah, Namara as well, Namari. These people keep showing up for like a little bit and then they keep dying. That's right, yeah, they got killed while they were in the water section. Are these are these group of characters going to be more significant at some point? They're going to have to encounter our people, right? They keep just missing each other. I love the idea that they're just like, oh, those stupid adventurers, even though they didn't do anything to them. I assume they're going to meet each other again at some point, like they're going to encounter each other. Yeah, they're this is like the hapless adventurers that just keep dying. They're like the D&D group that aren't very good. Maybe maybe Laos will will work out with this group to maybe go help Fallon. Okay, so they're going to be heading back up to the surface as well. Ooh, maybe they'll run into each other while they're up there and they're going to get into like an argument with them. This guy seems like very nice and very reasonable. He seems to be a very optimistic person. Maybe that's why they see him as a leader, even if they're like, you're too soft sometimes, but they are very loyal to him. Now they're actually getting more than 2 minutes of screen time. Are they just going to immediately die again? The fishmen are actually pretty freaky looking. look at him actually getting to do stuff in this other than dying immediately after we see him. Daya. What? Huh? Oh, okay. It's a member of his groups. Okay. And he seems like a good leader. He knows his group very well. Rin. Yeah, she seems to be the tough one. Okay, so she's like the mage. And he's all about, oh, huh. I was wondering if there was something going on between the two of them because she was like, oh, you got no standards. I think she's got a thing for him. But she's like the tsundere, right? She's like, oh, no, I don't. They're actually showing how capable he is. It's a shame that he keeps dying. I was like, is this whole episode just going to be about these guys? I want to see more about them, but I'm also like curious, like what's going on with Leos and his group? Okay, we got all new people here. Holy cow. Oh, that's right. She seems to say that a lot. Infuriating. He's pretty sharp. Be interesting if they did like a spin-off version of Delicious in Dungeon with these guys. He seems very much like righteous. What would he be? Like a paladin? Damn, these guys are just willing to sacrifice their people and be like, for their own sake, of course. Nice. Oh, wow. Oh, not afraid to kill though. Not afraid to kill people. Damn. Okay, so he's like that nice guy, but don't get on his bad side. Kind of like Leos, I imagine. Although I couldn't see Leos taking out humans like that. Damn. Okay, so all right, I underestimated this guy. That he wouldn't be afraid to kill people. Not that they were innocent. But he's probably saying like as the greater good. I'm like, these people are scum. Like I'm doing this because you're bad, so you don't deserve to live. All right, I think this episode is straight up going to be about them, which is interesting. I completely forgot about them, to be honest. So, what is his purpose? So, it seems like he's doing this for a good purpose, too. He says about, like, yeah, so he's here to also lift the curse. So, Leos's group and their group have the same kind of end game. So I could see them working together, but I could see them meeting on the surface and be like, those are the guys that keep stealing from us. And then there's going to be an altercation. They're going to figure things out and be like, oh, wait, that wasn't you. Like I was like, I'll kill them, but I won't steal from them. We gotta have. All right, we gotta have some food in this. It's not quite as good as with Senshi, because you don't get to actually see them making it. Now we're getting into the politics of the dungeon, I guess. Man, so many characters mentioned in this one. Oh, okay. Toden. Wow, all right, so they're very well known. Interesting. I didn't realize that they were so well known. Oh yes, close, huh? I'm wondering about how close they are. And they keep calling them tall man. I was like, is that a race? I was like, it just looks like a regular human to me. Oh, and that's why he recognized Namari. Man, oh man, he's very sharp actually. He's like wrong in a way of like what they're doing, but he was right about a lot of it. Gosh, wow. There's Shuro, that's right. Forgot about him too. Wow, he remembers. He knows all of them. This is crazy. Has he ever encountered, like, he doesn't seem like he's ever talked to them face to face. He just knows everybody, apparently. Man, we're learning a lot about the characters without actually, like, really, like, Leos and them have been kind of in the background this episode, but we're learning a lot about them. Oh, so that was Namari's whole thing was about how she didn't want to be seen as an unhonorable, dishonorable dwarf. I love how they all have opinions about these people. So Namari, it's because of her father. Like it seems like there was a bad, like that bad reputation got passed on to her. And truly like a dog, right? You give me food, I like you. I'll follow you to the depths of hell. And we don't know really much about Shuro at all, except for the fact that he is in love with Fallon. Right? It's like Leos with his encyclopedic knowledge about monsters. With him, it's people, other adventures. So Leos and him are actually very similar in a lot of ways, it seems like. Yeah, I definitely think they're going to encounter each other when they both go to the surface and maybe work together. Because it seems like he has a lot of interest in them. It's like almost like he admires them. Oh, okay. He truly is a good guy, huh? Like, he's such an honorable person. Wait, a king-like figure. I wonder if it's the king that the elf is trying to find. Hmm. They're not saints. Okay. They're indifferent to people. Interesting. And then they just die again at the end of the episode. Oh, I I might not be too far off. Except will Namari's group be around to resurrect them again after they killed the that other group that was going to resurrect them. But he knows a lot about monsters too. I feel like him and Leos would get along very well. Wait, who's this? This is a completely different. Wait. Oh, okay, this is a completely different group of people. Holy cow. Oh shit, it's Shiro. Oh my goodness, we finally get to see him in person. So many characters being introduced. Wow. He looks a little haggard, doesn't he? Wow, he really is cold, isn't he? Interesting. So it's like he's traveling with like a all-female group. Interesting. So he is looking for Fallon. Oh, okay. Okay, so now, okay, going back to that, still hugging it out. So they're going deeper into the dungeon instead of going back up to the top. Interesting. Oh no, they can't escape? Well, this is no good. All right. Okay, that's the end of the episode. Okay. So that was a really interesting episode. I wasn't expecting Kabru and his group, first of all. Forgot about them. I will be completely honest. And then when they did get revived, I was expecting them to just die off again because that seems to be happening. But we actually got pretty much the whole episode focusing on them, and we learned a lot of interesting information. We learned more about a lot of the characters, actually. And it's cool too. So, like, yeah, not only did we learn about Kaburu's group and how they interact, what their kind of dynamic is, which in a way is similar to our group, but it's cool to see Kabru. He's talking about, our adventures, and to see what their opinions are of them and how maybe they're not as accurate as we thought. Like the one girl saying that Chilchuck is basically super selfish, and in a way he does come off that way, where it's just like he only seems to care about money and things like that. But we know that that's not true. Literally, the last episode was learning about how much he cares about the other members of the group. But also, it was crazy to see how much Kabru knew about the group, despite seemingly never actually talking to them one on one. So it seems like Leos and Fallon are very well known in the adventuring scene, and also, as he said, they're not as noble as we think. On the surface, they seem so, but it says something like they just don't seem to care about people. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, Laos does definitely care about certain people, but he seems more interested in monsters. And then also learning like Kaburu's group, they're also wanting to um, take care of the curse of the dungeon. Now, is it a matter of are they doing it for completely selfless reasons or not? Kabru seems like he is a very decent person, but not afraid to kill people that he thinks need to be killed. And then seeing Namari again, and also Shuru and his group, seeing them very briefly, and he is on his quest to save Fallon, and it seems like they are going to team up. So I was correct in that way. I was like, I feel like everyone's going to come together. Now, I didn't factor in that group, but like, I'm assuming maybe they're going to get Namari at some point, and maybe all of them working together. are going to go and try and save Fallon and lift the curse of the dungeon. I could see Laos and Kabru, like, maybe also they're not doing it for the purpose of, like, I want to rule the dungeon for their own reasons. It seems like they want to do it for kind of the greater good. So it's the thing is, like, who is going to control the dungeon if they are able to defeat the magician? Just, man, it's just a lot of, this was a lot of information. Like, this was a lot to take in, but pretty cool at the same time. And my guess was that they were all going to go to the surface and they were going to meet up there, have some sort of interaction where there'd be like, oh, you guys keep stealing from us and killing us and what the heck? Or maybe not necessarily like they thought that they killed them, but they're like, you keep stealing from us. But there was going to be a thing. It's like, oh, no, you're wrong. That's not what happened. And they were going to work together. But now it seems to be a situation where Kabru's group is working with Shuro's group. They're going to continue down to the dungeon, and it seems like Laos's group can't go to the surface. So maybe I was wrong in that they're actually going to encounter each other in the dungeon itself, not on the surface. So that seems what it's leading up to, and that's going to be a lot of characters. Holy cow. That's going to be so many characters to have interacting all together. So that could cause some issues, especially like if Shuro, maybe he's going to be upset with Laos and be like, you saved Fallon and you let her get away. How dare you? But then he ran off. So I imagine there's going to be some drama, but that was a very informative episode. Learned a lot about kind of the world a little bit, learning about the politics, about just how the dungeons work, like the whole thing with the people who revive the adventurers in the dungeons for a fee and all that stuff. And apparently they managed to slip through something that the Lord has where it's like you can only get rewarded if you pass some sort of there's a whole thing, and they're like, well, maybe there's groups working together, they're slipping through and they're doing things through not so like ethical means. It seems like there might be some corruption going on. So yeah, it was really good world building in this episode. It was a little bit of action, very, very little bit of food. But I'm glad that we learned more about this group, and I just find it interesting. I think it's going to be fun when they meet up. Hopefully, I hope that's what's going to happen with Laos's group, because Kabru seems to have, if not like it seems like he does have some respect for them, or at least he's interested in them. He seems very interested in people, and he wants to meet them and, I don't know, see what makes them tick. So it was cool to see like how Laos and Fallon and Marcel, like Marcel, once again, they talked about like elves. There seems to be a really big like distrust of elves. Like Marcel is known, and she is has graduated from the mage school, and that's a rare thing, and same with Fallon. So it seems like it's respected to, you know, be a graduate from mage school, but also they don't seem to trust elves very much. Poor Marcel, she just seems to get, especially like with orcs and dwarves and things like that, who just don't trust magic, or just they just don't like elves very much. She seems to have a hard time with it. But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited to see, like, I'm assuming the next episode is going to focus on Laos again. I don't know if these two groups are going to meet up like right away. There's probably going to be maybe an episode or two at least before that happens, but that'll be interesting when it does happen. So that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will make sure that I do release this episode on time this week. So thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you next week for episode 15. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Lynn's VA, Kenju Storm, iCognito, Kevlar, Sean, Waz RD1, iZuzu, and Ronnie RKX.